Well, thank you guys for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
So this is Kesley Jones. And Alyssa, what's your last name?
Callahan.
Callahan. Okay, I did not know that, but we're both Alyssas. And I love that. And I will never forget your name, so I won't forget yours either.
I always have to say at the store, I'm like, when we're going to talk to Alyssa, she's like, me? No, Alyssa
no.
Biddle. It's separate.
But yeah, well, we're so glad to have you on.
Thank you for having us.
We'd love kind of to start off to hear a little bit about how Stepping Out started and the history, how you got involved with it.
Because you're third generation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost funny, but I mean, it ended up kind of being meant to be where we are now. But essentially, the property that Stepping Out is on is where my dad lived. My grandpa owned the home, and he rented it from his dad. Mm-hmm. And so when he was getting married, they were like, okay, we're going to tear the house down. It's time to do something new. Who wants to do a business? Kind of thing. And all of the boys, there's 9 kids in that family.
Okay.
So they were all getting married, and Treasure State was the only business in town that did formal wear, and they closed at 4. And the boys have Jones Construction. So they're all construction.
Mm-hmm.
They work till 6. They could never get in there. At least, yeah. And they were out of town all the time, so they could never get in to be measured for tuxes. Mm-hmm. And so the frustration of the timing is somehow what led to a bridal shop.
Yeah.
They were just like, well, let's make it easy. We can do it ourselves.
Let's start the business.
So that's how it happened. And so
that was your grandpa that decided to...
Yeah. My grandpa and then my mom and dad partnered. Okay. And then actually my mom's parents were also involved.
Okay.
And so my grandpa was a teacher at West High for years, and he retired and then started working at the store as well, just backroom help. So it was a very, very big family affair.
I love that.
For sure, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, and then how did you come to kind of, because you manage it now, and like, so how did that all happen?
It kind of by happenstance. It wasn't really planned. I got back from college and was like, well, I don't really know what I want to do. And I'd always worked there, from 10 years old, shining shoes or ironing vests, all that fun stuff. And so just the transition of learning that I really liked business and that this industry is really fun and unique, and having that hold and working there for, I think it was probably 4 or 5 years before I transitioned into managing and doing that kind of thing, because we had a manager who was wonderful for 20 years and just retired. So it was good timing, and I've been there ever since, and it's been almost 10 years solid now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I love that.
Awesome. And Alyssa, how long have you been with Stepping Out now?
2 years.
I love that. I can't believe it's been 2 years, because I feel like
almost 2.5.
I remember when you started.
Yeah.
So that's so fun.
I know. We have a pretty tight crew. They stick around for quite a while, which is nice.
Well, that is credit to you guys and the culture that you've created around the bridal shop. And so I've been dress shopping there with friends and stuff. And one of the things I love about Stepping Out is just, it doesn't matter what your budget is. It doesn't matter what you look like. You're going to come in and have an amazing experience. So I would love to hear more about how you, like the process from your end of buying a dress.
As far as like when we start picking out dresses to brides trying on to buy.
Yes.
We, in Montana, things are very far apart.
Yes.
So trying to be a one-stop shop has always been the goal. Mm-hmm. And so doing the research of finding lines that are going to provide structure, size, quality for 1 through 34 or whatever size, because we love our curvy brides as well. And that fits in the category of each price point as well. So there's truly a dress for everybody.
Yes.
There's lots of beautiful dresses out there and lots of places to shop, but we love to have at least something for every bride that they're going to love.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that you guys do. I mean, I have an obsession with your shop. So it's like my favorite place. Every time I get to go, it's like going into a candy shop for me. Yes. And I really do think that you do have, it is, you have something for everything, from like the very classic traditional bride to the very out of the box bride that wants to wear a sequin jumpsuit.
Absolutely.
There's a little bit of everything.
From black to multicolor to, And it's fun to have all those different things.
Yes.
Because, getting that bride who wants something unique to the bride who wants something traditional, they're all as fun, but it's cool to see the personality of each bride come out while they're dress shopping and finding out really what is them. which is fun. The essence of truly what they want to be.
So what do you want brides to bring to the shop with them as far as like, would it be better if they came in with like a very vague idea, like they want traditional or they want something different, or do you like them to bring ideas with them?
Love ideas.
Okay.
It's hard if a bride does too much research, and I think you would agree, like if they pigeonhole themselves and say, I've looked at pictures and I only want to try on satin, strapless, no beads, no lace, and I'm only trying that on.
Mm-hmm.
It's great in pictures, and if they end up loving it, that's wonderful, but there's so much out there, and a wedding gown is not something you try on every day. So it's like, we want to make sure you try on different silhouettes, different fabrics, different feels, and if you hate it, that's fine. We will move on and go to the pictures, but it also might open your eyes to something that you never thought would fit the venue or the ideas. So we love Pinterest pictures, just a general truly inspiration, not just like I love that gown, but those sleeves are pretty. I like that fabric. I like elements so that we can kind of pull it together with what we have in store as well. Yeah.
Do you feel like that's fairly common that maybe a bride goes in with an idea but comes out with something totally different?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say maybe half, a little less than half.
A little less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually it's like, I knew I wanted a ball gown, but I had no idea I like this much sparkle, like that kind of thing. Or truly the exact opposite of I thought I wanted a ball gown and now I'm in a full fitted mermaid and huge train and I wanted no train. And so it is fun to see them experience that and be like, oh, I can wear this. Like, that's really cool. I didn't think I could wear fitted, but I look awesome.
Yeah.
So I would say a good half.
Yeah, that was my experience with you guys. I went dress shopping with my college roommate, and we'd been to a couple different places before we came to Steppin' Out, and she only thought she could wear sleeves, and she only thought she could wear a ball gown. Like, that's what she thought that she had to have. And when we were there, I whispered to Daphne, who sold her dress, like, can you just bring out one fitted dress?
Yeah.
Just put it in her room. Just let her try it on.
Yeah.
And that's what she ended up picking.
And I think I know who you're talking about, and she looked stunning.
She looked
amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. So I think that it's also, that's one thing I love about your shop. Again, like going back, it does not matter what you're coming in expecting, or like you're treating every bride the same, whether you're a size 0 or a size 32, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same experience, which is an amazing experience. It's very loving and welcoming and open, and I just really love that about your shop. I think it's just so unique.
That's definitely our goal, for sure. We want everybody to feel that when they come in.
Right.
And I will say, the one thing that every once in a while we get is, so we've been open for 35 years now. It's a great thing. And sometimes brides are like, oh, I only thought you had older styles because you've been here so long.
Right.
And it's like, no, absolutely not. Like, everything ebbs and flows as well. Just like, everything else. And they're like, I had no idea. And it's like, well, let's show you, let's go in and look, because the old school thought of like, I am this size, I'm this whatever, I can only wear this shape is so gone. Is so
100%.
gone. And I love that. And being able to explore that in the bridal option of things as well is really cool.
Because I think there's a huge trend coming up that is all about really making your wedding about who you are as a couple, and who, like bringing personality.
Absolutely.
Instead of just what your parents expect, what, what people are telling you what to do. And I think that that's a huge thing. I love that you're saying that. Like, it's like what you have to wear based on your body, or what, that's all out the window.
Absolutely.
All out the window. It's all about who you are. And I think that's huge.
Oh, we love that part of it so much.
Yes.
I will put you in a ball gown if that's what mom wants to see, and we'll try it. But if you like fitted as the bride, we're your biggest cheerleaders, and we will all day long. Fitted, fitted, fitted. Let's do it if you love it, because you look awesome regardless, in situations like that. So it's fun to see them look at themselves in a different light and be like, oh my gosh, I am gorgeous in this. And it's like, we all knew that, but I'm glad you can see it now. Like, So it's very fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
I actually kind of have a question, because we know you do obviously the bridal gowns and stuff. Inevitably for like grooms and groomsmen, like almost not every wedding, but so many weddings I go to, they rent some stuff from like a big box store, and none of it fits great. and are like they're missing the right shirt.
There's
like,
holes.
Yeah, or there's holes where they're not supposed to be. Pants don't fit right. Like ties are too short. Like there's always problems. So like, what do you do for the guys? And do you recommend like that grooms come into you guys as well, or what does that kind of look like?
Absolutely. And I think being a local store who's been hands-on from the get-go, we used to only carry our stock of tuxes, which meant we had every piece in the back room ready to go. I mean, now we also carry our own stock, but we special order as well. The nice thing is being able to come in, and even though we don't have every color of gray that we can order for you to try on every piece, we have the fit. So I want your body in it so you can see, you make sure you like the fit of I submit my pant measurement, I have no idea what I'm going to look like. So having that personal touch makes such a difference. And the other thing, if the wedding was on Saturday, you come in on a Thursday or Friday, try it on. If the pants aren't right, we take them to the back, take the hem out, do everything by hand. We carry our own shirts.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
So you can do it that quick?
Yeah. Oh, wow. 5 minutes? Okay. Yeah. Alyssa does pants. She's been learning. It's been good.
Way to go.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's a big old machine, but
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. And so it's something that it's nice to be able to, even though it's not a custom suit, it's still to be able to get 10 guys in a Michael Kors suit for a wedding is an awesome thing. And to be able to make those small changes to fit the way they want in store is a big thing and means a lot to us as a business to be able to do that maybe a big box store can't.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. I love our grooms and groomsmen. They have it so much easier than our brides. They do. Come in 2 months before the wedding, pick out some styles, get measured in 5 minutes. They're like, oh, is that all? Like, yeah. You're done.
So easy.
Like, this is great. So, yeah, it's definitely the easier side of things.
And you guys you also have a little bit of a selection of bridesmaids dresses, correct?
No bridesmaids anymore.
Oh, really?
No bridesmaids.
Okay.
Just prom, bridal, and tuxes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that is one thing that as much as we would love to have everything, online is a hard battle. You can find anything online, and bridesmaids is one of those things that unfortunately we just can't carry in the store anymore.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And I mean, you're doing what serves you guys the best and your clients.
Exactly.
Best,
so. Yeah. Then we have more room and more time and more space for the things that we love and can dedicate some more time to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
How far in advance should typically a bride be shopping for their wedding dress and getting fitted and all that?
9 to 12 months is ideal.
Okay.
However, we have over 300 dresses in store. So like we had a bride last week. She's getting married. Is it Saturday?
Yes.
So she had 9 days or something.
Oh.
And so we found something that we could do off the rack, got her in alterations, rock and roll. I mean, we can handle just about anything, but for an ideal timeline, 9 to 12 months to be able to try on any designer, pick color, order size, all of that stuff would be the timeline. But if it's shorter, we can definitely handle it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That would stress me out so bad.
As the bride or the consultant?
Both. I'm like, oh man. That would be so, but that's amazing that you can do that. Yeah. And I mean, like, people choose to elope and they need to dress quickly. And I always think that it's just such a huge difference from, I got my dress. I was 19 when I got married. I got my dress. It was not the dress I wanted. And I got it online, and huge regrets because it did not fit. I couldn't lift my arms, and I would have wanted to, especially because my husband's 6'4". Like, I even put my arms up on his arms. Like, I can't do neck, but like I couldn't lift my arms, and it was such a big pain point. And so, I just feel like the difference between like going to you guys and me even being able to tell you that, you had been like, well, then we're not going to put you in that dress that you can't move it.
Let's find something else.
Yeah. There's just different things. And, I had to have a modest dress. So I did need something that covered me to my elbows. So you guys have a modest line for brides like me that wanted that, right?
Absolutely. Whether it's for a personal choice or religious choice, we have 2 lines specifically dedicated to modest.
I love that because that is very unique where, and I mean, we got married back in 2014, so I think that there's a lot more options now for things like that. But that was such a huge issue for me buying a dress, is trying to find something like that. so difficult. So I think that that's such a cool, unique thing that you guys have. Yeah. I love that.
And it's hard because, I mean, I'm sure with your experience, you saw the picture and you loved the look, but putting it on was such a different feeling.
I kind of did. My mom picked out my dress.
Did she really?
I wanted a T-length dress. And, like, the birdcage veils were super in 2014. Or at least in Montana. And which, we'll talk about that, too, with Montana trends and how that's different. But then I ended up getting it wasn't a mermaid. It's fitted, but it was fitted all the way down lace. Lace.
Oh, and like that was flare sheath.
Yeah, fit and flare. Like it was I mean, it was a pretty dress and it's fine. Like it's hard to not have a pretty dress with wedding dresses, right?
But it was
not it. Yeah. So so that's why I love your shop too, is also like I just see people getting that experience that I didn't get, and I love that they get that. Well, and it's such a unique thing.
You'll have to come try on dresses at some point.
Someday. I would love that.
I'm sensing an anniversary shoot.
It is our 10-year in March.
Is it really?
Fun. It would be super fun.
That would be fun. Well, and you know, since 2014, like, I'm sure the lining of your dress was a normal dress lining, not stretchy. I'm assuming. Yeah. Like, they have come so far with the fabrics and what they use for construction. So actually, one of our designers, Allure Bridals, partnered with Under Armour to make their lining.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. So it has like cool wicking. So not only is it stretchy, but it keeps like, if it's 110 out in August at your wedding, it's going to be moisture wicking, just like an Under Armour shirt. So it's like amazing. You would never think of Under Armour and Bridal.
No, but that's so cool.
Yeah, but they make such a cool pairing, and they're so comfortable. So comfortable compared to the older linings even a decade ago. Yeah. You know, it's changed immensely. So comfort level and structure have come a long way.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. Those are things that, I mean, I'm in the industry. Yeah. I work with dresses. I'm normally the one that ends up bustling because everybody gets frustrated or does the little buttons on the back. So I work with dresses, but I had no idea. That's so cool. And I mean, that makes such a huge difference on a wedding day.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when here in Montana, we have weather that it can be negative 25 or lower
110.
or 110. And so it's huge. Yeah. And that going back to trends in Montana. So do you still feel like, so a few years ago, or I guess when we got into the industry, we would always say, Montana is 2 to 3 years behind in trends. Do you still feel like that's the same, or do you feel like the internet and TikTok and things has helped us become more modern in those things?
Definitely helped.
Really? Okay.
I still think we're a little behind, just overall, because we seem to be the last to see things in person, like that kind of thing. Whereas you might see I'm trying to think of a trendy top or something somebody might wear down the street, and you're like, oh, I love that, and then try that on. Whereas it is a little bit slower to be here
physically, us actually be wearing that trend and things like that.
So usually now it seems like it's a year and a half behind.
Okay, where it was 5 years before.
A solid 5 years. Yeah, to the point where when we would go to markets and talk to designers, we were really struggling to find some of the styles that were older for them, but that were trendy here. Yeah, and trying to find that balance of new, or whatever, and now that's definitely not the case.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we're becoming more modern, because it is hard.
Absolutely,
and because as wedding professionals, we are looking at those trends, but we won't get to see them.
Right.
But now it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool.
I saw the post you made about the trends. Are you excited about the trends this year with the pearls and the bows and
the
coquette style?
I love pearls and bows. So I can't wear my wedding ring right now. But my real red wedding ring is a pearl.
It's beautiful.
And I have I love pearls so much. And then bows, I'm all about the bows. Yeah. That's very much me. So I'm this is the trends. And I love cool sleeves. Most of my shirts, I pick them based on sleeves. And so I love the things that are coming up. But I also think that those trends are about adding personality. Absolutely. And that's what I love about it. Because you don't have to be a pearl girl. That's fine. But if you are, let's put that into your personality. If I were to get a new wedding dress, I would definitely have to have pearls on there and have things like that show my personality. which I think is just like, that's what I'm excited about for those trends.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys are super excited for as far as trends coming up?
Yes, well, first of all, I love pearls and bows as well, and you can attest to this. Yes. I have wanted bows to be like here and now for like a year and a half now.
We did that style shoot. It was a like bow veil. Yes. And that was like a few years ago that we did that.
I love it. But see, like that's the case of where, I saw a lot of like Style Me Pretty, some of those Instagram pages, brides were wearing that last year. Mm-hmm. And now it's here more in the true bulk and the big part of bridal, which is exciting to see. So I'm super excited for that. And color. Yes. There's a lot of color coming back. Blue dresses, black dresses, more pink, red, multicolored.
I love that. Mm-hmm. That's super cool.
That's super fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I love that.
And feathers. How do you feel about feathers?
I mean, if it's their thing, but I feel like feathers are hard because even if you get them a little bit wet or like,
true.
Or like they get crushed, especially, so like if we were in a place that there was a lot of like, a ton of hotel weddings or a ton of like more modern things, that would be great. But feathers would be interesting in Montana because there's bugs everywhere. The amount of bugs we deal with on wedding days at our barn weddings, because the tulle loves bugs, and it's because it's literally you're wearing a bug net. Yeah. It's a beautiful bug net, but that's what it is. And so I feel like feathers would be interesting because we have to walk over mud. We have to be very careful. We have to, all of those things. And so feathers would be interesting. Not that it would be a bad thing, but like I could see a really cool like rock and roll wedding with like a full like bustier that's feathers or things like that. That's like super cool. Like somewhere that's more modern, like an art museum or like something like the pub station. We really like those would be fun. Like a very rock and roll wedding, like things like that. I could see that, but it'd be interesting because we are out in the country a lot. We are out with bugs and mud and dirt and grass, and so it would be interesting to see feathers.
It would be
in Montana.
It would be. I think I might be the only one at the store who's really pro feathers.
They're hit and miss for me.
I'm a very big feather fan. I think I'm the only one, but that's okay. So, there's something for everybody.
Yes.
But, yeah, feathers will be fun this year too, I think.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So that's feathers. That's the 2024 Kesley's pick of the trends.
I would love it, but I think it's more like in bouquets and stuff that I've been seeing. But that's cool too.
Yeah. Which I could see feathers more in bouquets because then they're not dragging the ground or because I mean those feather shoes, I'm like, those are so cute.
I know.
I love them, but they get destroyed. Destroyed. I mean normal shoes, like even suede, like I love like I had some suede loafers, love them. Destroyed the first wedding I wore them to.
Were they really?
Yeah. Because our weddings here just it's just very like different than a lot of other places.
Absolutely. I mean, even if the reception's inside, but the ceremony's outside, still when the dresses come back after the wedding to be preserved or whatever, I mean, it is a solid ring of mud sometimes around that train. And it's just inevitable.
Right.
It is what it is.
And it depends on like your venue too, is because like if there's venues that have really good grass, then it's better because like there's not dirt. But if it's like a very dusty wedding, you're gonna have a black hem. It's inevitable. Yep. And if there's also though, like, is there anything that you recommend to keep your dress nicer that you would say, like anything that you recommend?
Might be controversial, but as far as that goes, I say go for it on the wedding. Don't worry about it. If somebody steps on your hem and rips a bustle, grab a safety pin. If you have to walk somewhere to get a good picture and you get the train muddy, go for it. Because truly, if you decide to preserve your gown and clean it, all of that's going to go away anyways. So it's like, I know it's really hard because that garment means a lot to the bride. And, sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, it's, a speck of mud. And I get that. But at the same time, like, enjoy your day. Don't worry too much about it. When all is said and done, bring it back. Let's clean it. And good as new.
You do the cleaning.
We do.
Yourself.
You can just bring the dress in and veil. We box it up, send it off to, it's actually Endicott, New York in the garment district. And they dry clean and then preserve and seal it and send it right back to your doorstep.
I love that.
Awesome.
Done and ready to go.
That's super nice.
Yeah. So then you don't have to worry about it. Drop it off on Monday with the tuxes and you're done.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. I had no idea like you did that. You guys did that. That's awesome.
It's a fun part to see. Yeah. Kind of after the wedding. what we've got going on.
I'm sure you've seen a thing issue with that, so.
We have. And you can tell the brides who had a really good time.
Yeah, and that there's nothing wrong with that. That's party.
Sure. I'm sure they all had a good time.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Are there any like misconceptions about shopping for your bridal dress, or you feel like you are addressing more often than not with brides?
You know, one thing that we've had more, and I don't know if this has to do with like the closure of David's Bridal being a big box store, but there's been a lot of brides who come in that just want to try on. And I know that sounds funny, but like they come in and say, I'm not really sure what I want, try on everything, have a 2-hour appointment. And it's fabulous to get an idea, but at that point they're almost confused. And so it's like what shopping with intent would be something that like you don't have to pick a dress the day you come in by any means, but just to make sure that the bride doesn't get overwhelmed and lose track of what she's looking for in shopping. Just making sure to be mindful and present when you come in and not just, hey, I want to try on 30 gowns and see what happens, you know?
Yeah, there's very much a balance between being so focused on one style that that's all you'll try on and coming in with no idea. There's like a good balance between those.
Right. And truly trusting us that if you give us a little bit of inspiration, we're going to make sure you try on all of the fits and the fabrics and delve deeper. And we're not just going to limit you to 3 dresses or something like that by any means, but trust us to guide you through that so that you're not having to try on 30 dresses to find a wedding gown. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Do you find that some brides are sometimes hesitant to like try on a lot of dresses, or they don't want to waste your time or whatnot? Or
I think most of the time it's opposite.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's that they're ready to roll and they're like, we'll start at that end of the wall and we'll just work our way down. And I'm like, okay. I don't know if I could keep that straight. So how do I help you? You know, like making sure that she's not overwhelmed by the process as well. Because you walked in there, there's a lot of dresses.
Yeah,
there's a lot of dresses. But, you know, trusting us to be able to navigate that for size, structure, budget, and what you're wanting, let us do that for you and pull them. So it's less of a, you know, throwing paint at the wall and see if it sticks or you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that because I do think everything with a wedding should be done with intent.
Yes.
And so I think that plays into the bridal experience and like the planning experience because some brides can just throw almost everything at a planner to make decisions, say, I want this kind of, or like these colors, do with it as you will, kind of a thing where nothing can replace the dress shopping experience.
Right.
That is something that every bride gets to do, whether they're traditional or non-traditional.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that's like super special with a dress buying process is that is one thing that no matter what, the bride can't hand off to anybody, delegate. And so it's just a very special experience.
Yes, I need your body. And my goal is to make this fun, memorable, and something that you don't walk out the store being like, I don't even remember the first dress I put on. Like, how do I, like, let me navigate that for you and help you, and we'll get there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who should, like, brides bring with them on the day when they're trying out dresses? Like,
Alyssa's like, no one.
I'm sure you probably get to some situations where there's just like too many voices, too many opinions.
Oh, absolutely. I think the idea of like bringing your entire girl crew and entire family is appealing in the beginning until you start trying on, and then you're like, where's my voice, you know, as the bride, and it gets lost. It seems like the good number is like 4.
Okay.
4 people. Maybe mom, grandma, best friend, or even 3 of your best friends, and bring mom in for the try-on later. Yeah. Just the core that you trust to not necessarily help you pick the dress, but to support you to help decide what you want. Because the thing that's hard for consultants is when we're there for the bride.
Yeah.
For the bride. And I don't want to hurt opinions or, you know, have to say, shh. But we will, because you don't need to raid on her parade. And you can bring up a good point. But the second you say, oh, you can't wear that shape, you won't. You don't look good in that. My dress was like this. I think you should try that on, that kind of thing. Like, we want to make sure it stays about her. So the group of supportive people that you know will do that with you is who I say bring. And 5 to 6 is like the cap. That's a lot.
Well, I feel like you guys would be like, oh, we only have like this amount of space, so
yeah. And we do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop groups of 18 sometimes.
Wait, 18?
I think, is that the top? It might be more.
Well, that goes back to like the fact it just gets confusing at that point.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's too many opinions. And I think that like I listen to a lot of horror wedding things because I think that they're funny. I can somewhat relate. We don't get a lot of bridezillas because we tend to find just like when we meet with them, they realize we don't mesh.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal. But the fact that like there's so many people who think that they should have an opinion. Right. And so I think that as a bride, you should like think about is that person who you're bringing as a person.
Yes.
Like, are they going to be your cheerleader? Are they going to...
Exactly.
You only bring cheerleaders.
Exactly.
Nobody else.
I'm not saying friends shouldn't advocate for them, but just softer opinions.
Yeah. I do have another question. Like, what are you most excited about for like the future of Stepping Out and what's coming?
Do you have any big plans coming up?
That's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. Okay.
Yeah. I think one thing that's exciting and also kind of scary is we are going to start some e-commerce things. So not dresses necessarily, but easier to find veils and accessories and those finishing touches.
Awesome. That's super exciting.
Because I think that might be, we love the dresses, but we get very excited about our jewelry and our accessories.
We do.
Yeah. So we tend to have a lot of that on hand. And that we have a VIP appointment. So when your dress comes in, the bride comes in, tries on her gown fresh and new, and then we accessorize and kind of help create the look before you go to alterations. That might be all of our favorite appointment. Because it's it's very fun. And it's just that truly taking the time for the bride to soak in, this is my dress, this is my look, let's get this together before like having to go to alterations and have the dress team, not having it with you, all of that stuff. And so that's probably the most enjoyable. That's so cool. Getting that stuff online, new designers in our future. Oh, I'm not sure what they're going to be yet, but that is coming up in the works. Yeah. I think that's it. That's really big. My dad refuses to do any more remodeling after the bridal room. So we have to wait for a little while for some more things or that second floor. So yeah.
What would be your ideal to like change or remodel if it was up to you?
More space.
Okay.
By a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It would be nice to double the size of the prom room and have a second floor for bridal and just have more space and be able to play and separate and have more things to offer everybody. But, you know, our space is wonderful as it is as well. So I shouldn't complain.
It is so beautiful and it's come so far.
Yeah.
Like, again, like I did go in 2014. And I was a terrible person, and I just came to see what I wanted. And then my mom and I butted heads. I did have a dress that I loved that my mom was like, nope. And then I went and ordered something online that I regret. Yeah. But, like, it's just come so far.
Yeah.
And even I think that when we shared that video that we made, people were like, they messaged us, and they were like,
so
oh my gosh, it is so different. I'm like, yes, you need to go in and see the experience and see the difference. And I think a big part of that is you. And, like, I mean, because... You've been there how long now?
I mean, my whole life. But
officially.
Like 11 years.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, you were just barely then back at the store when I was a bride.
Yeah.
And so you've really taken it and changed the whole experience, made it a culture, which, like, not that your family didn't, but, like, this is, like, your focus now.
Truly.
And so, like, you've really made this place a place that is very welcoming and made a culture that is very loving and accepting. And I just think that that's huge.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And it's, I can't remember what I was going to say.
That's okay.
You're fine.
My Lord. I don't know. I'm just going to let that roll.
Yeah.
Well, I do think, like, a lot of people maybe just don't know what it's like at the store. They know, like, Stepping Out's been around forever.
Yeah.
And maybe they're, like, and for their parent, like, when they're a long time ago. And so I feel like people just don't understand how amazing, how modern it is when you walk in, how welcoming the whole vibe is and stuff. Like, it's gorgeous.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's one tidbit that was about the building. When they built it, my grandpa said, we're going to make this kind of a generic space so that if you fail, I could do something with it. Yeah. And I hate to be that way, but it was just like, he was very business minded and
which is fine.
Yes. But at that point it was like, okay, mom and dad, you've been here for 25, 30 years now.
Obviously it did not fail.
I'm pretty sure we can change this to be a little more bridal specific now. Like, I think you guys have stood the test of time. So I think that was a big push of like, and you know this too from 2014, the want of a bride and needs of a bride have changed. And it truly is more about that experience, which I love.
Yes.
Because it gets to be a moment versus just a check mark on your list kind of thing.
Right. And no wedding should be, we were talking earlier this week with Katie Taylor, and I'm like picking on my family. My family is wonderful. I love my family. I'm very close to them. I love them. But, it's just very interesting because how we see weddings is a lot different than how our families see weddings.
Yeah.
In our family, it's something to get through. It is like you get like, and it's very rushed. It's very, and there's no experience. It's like, it's a very much a checklist. You get the stuff, you get done and
then you're married.
And then you're married.
Okay.
And I think that it's because nobody in our my family especially has had the experience.
Yeah.
And, so, and that's like the thing is like, I think that everything, like our culture in America is shifting to intentionality.
Yeah.
We are looking for more experience than things. I think that's just coming up. And so I think that that's huge with you guys is like, it is an experience. It is, everything's intentional. It is, I mean, it's more about than just the dress. It's about the whole dress buying experience. It's about, how you feel.
Well, and even for you guys being able to sit down with your brides and, look at the schedule and what do you want out of this versus just showing up with a camera and saying, and you guys are so good at creating a bond with them that I think that's so important too, because it makes it so much more special. And so that's something too that we hope we can be just a small percentage of that with the dress and make that a moment versus just, again, like that check mark you were talking about. Yeah.
It's big.
Is there anything else like you wish brides knew about you or about the experience before they come in?
Can you think of anything we have not covered?
I don't think so.
You've been very quiet.
I know.
That's okay.
Don't be scared. When you come in, we get asked a lot, like what undergarments we need, things like that. You truly don't need to bring corseting, bras, things like that. All of that is built into the dress. We just want you to come in, relaxed, happy with your people that you love and want near and dear, and you leave the rest to us and we'll have fun. So truly, don't stress.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
We're putting up with us.
Always. We always will. Anytime.